We're live now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to our commission meeting of June 27th at 5 p.m. Right now, it's currently 5:05. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Number two, invocation. I'd like our county manager to do the invocation, and then recently we had some people that passed away in our county, so that way he can tell the group who they were. Can everybody stand, please?
Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us here today and to exchange ideas, concepts, and to lead us forward with bright and intelligent and fact-driven ideas. We hope that everybody continues to remain safe and healthy and strong. We look forward to a new prosperous fiscal year in July 2023 to 2024. And we ask for your guidance throughout our entire processes. Well, with that said, I'd like a moment of silence for ex-County Clerk Carmen Gallegos, who passed, ex-County Sheriff Ray Spurgeon, who passed, Kenny Baldonado, who worked for our solid waste, recent passing of his son, Betty McDaniel's brother-in-law. So if you have a moment of silence. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Amen. Next item is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, a symbol of perfect friendship among nations. Roll call, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Avila. Vice Chair.
Present.
Commissioner Liggins. Commissioner Gonzalez. And Chair Martinez.
Present, ma'am. We have a quorum. On approval of agenda, I'd like the commissioners that are here to give me approval to move item 11A to the bottom that would of J. Because Commissioner Douglas is on the road and he would like to be present when that comes around. And then the other item is 11E, move it up right after we approve the minutes of June 6th. If you don't have any objections, I'd like to make a motion to move those two. Second? Second. Motion by myself, second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Those two items are moved up according to the way I requested them. Item 7, approval of minutes of June 6, 2023. Commissioners, if you had a chance to look at them in your packet. Any questions? Motion to approve the minutes then? Motion by Commissioner Aguilar, second by Commissioner Sanquitero. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes of June 6, 2023 are approved. Thank you, Ms. Amigo, for doing those.
Thank you.
Okay, the item 11E is next. consideration of road name application for the road west from Escondida Lane requested by Joy Thompson. Can you come up here and state your name?
Good evening, Commissioners. Chairman Martinez, thank you for moving this up on the agenda. I appreciate that. And on behalf of the Thompsons who aren't here, my name is Valerie Kimball. I'm a resident on what is now, it was 5B, then 7C Escondido Lane. My thanks to Elaine Briggs and to all those who are working on this GPS program to get us all on the same page. It was going to be a benefit to everyone to be legally in that address. The name changes Penny Lane, which is the name of a Beatles song. More important than that, it's a nice place. It's a pastoral place. It's a joyful song. It has happiness. It kind of goes with to me, the atmosphere of living out of the city limits and within the county. And it harkens back to another age. I'm a baby boomer. But what's interesting, I want to share with you is that both Mrs. Thompson Joy and I worked together many years ago at the newspaper, El Defensor Chieftain, came up with that name independently. And she said, they're going to have a name change. She said, wouldn't it be nice if it were Penny Lane? And I said, well, that's the name that I have in mind. And so if there are no major objections, and again, it's a gentle name, it's a soft name, it harkens to a small town kind of atmosphere. And we'll hope that commissioners will approve our request. Thank you.
Before you sit down, Mike, give us guidance on that, you and Adrian.
So if the commission authorizes the road change, we file it, then I file a certificate and give notice to the road department as well as Elaine to change the road. And there's one other legal step.
Certainly that's the case. And basically, I believe that our staff and Elaine has already reviewed under our E911 ordinance and the E911 system to ensure that there are no duplicates or confusing names. And I believe that this is past muster. So it is up to the board if it would like to make that change.
Your recommendation would be to change it.
Absolutely.
You heard the recommendation from our manager and our attorney. Commissioners, I need a motion to change the name to Penny Lane.
I'll only do so if she hums a few lines of the song.
There is a bar.
There you go.
You don't want me to sing.
Motion by.
That's a good song.
And second by Commissioner Aguilar. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is approved, ma'am.
Thank you very much. And I just want to say that we do recognize that we have to maintain that road. Is that correct? It's not a designated county road so far as paving or things like that.
I believe that's correct.
Yes, so we understand that, we accept that, and we're very grateful to the commission for this,
Okay,
for your actions at this evening. Thank you very much.
thank you. Okay, next item is committee and department reports. Acknowledge department reports. Number 1, Socorro County Extension Office. You had a chance to review the package, Commissioner? Any questions? No questions, seniors? No? All right, okay. Commissioners, okay. Then we'll go, the next one is acknowledge manager's report. This is verbal. Mike.
During the last time frame, we conducted 12 indigent burials in Magdalena. And the commission meeting on June 6, 2023, the commission authorized $4,000 for pits and gates I've received several different estimate amounts of the material that was, the area that was needed to be covered with materials. And the cheapest fencing and gates amounts to $6,000. So I'd like some type of latitude to go ahead and increase that if the commission wants to, or keep it at 4,000. I don't know what we would do. Or who else would help us pay for that. But again, we received the property from Magdalena, the village of Magdalena. So I'd like some latitude on that, because I spent ever since last commission meeting trying to get cheaper estimates, and it's just not happening. Materials are through the roof. I think you probably know about that.
If I might, Mr. Chairman, certainly that increases within the manager's budgetary authority. I think the point is, he quoted an earlier amount and he just wants to make you aware, and as long as there's no objections to moving forward under his authority, then I think he can do that.
What are the wishes of the commissioners?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
Okay.
So also met with DEC again. The tract owners referenced the San Antonio Flood Control Project and moving forward on different approaches for easements. We have a final meeting set up in July. It looks like maybe July 7th, according to most of the respondents. And we'll finally make a decision on the cement and the culverts in those areas, whether we're going to go with that. If easement's not granted, then we'll just augment the Arroyo area and move forward with the rest of the construction. Make a contract with appraiser regarding property in Sholey Bridge construction project. We're still moving ahead on the appraisal, even though we found out now that there's a new landowner. It used to be Barbara Morris. That property was bought by Mr. Patty. I had to research several different areas to find how to reach Mr. Patty. I was able to send him a certified letter, gave him a window of about 2 weeks to respond. So we're waiting for that. And we're still moving forward on the appraisal to see if we work out what the commission had authorized with Ms. Morris or not. Meet with NMDOT representative and county GIS manager, language reference accessibilities of properties off of US 60 east of Bernardo, and NMDOT would not commit to a turning lane or other methods for accessibility of landlocked lots due to very low traffic and utilitarian utilization rates. Subdivider owner is actually responsible for that, but we're looking for some type of assistance from NMDOT, and they weren't really in a position to offer any based upon traffic rates, utilization rates. Still working with ITG to go over last steps on the biometric system. Working with Tyler has been overwhelmingly difficult. I don't know how else to say that. Continuing to answer a massive number of IPRAs. Just in the last 5-day period, we received, I think it was 14 5 days. I have 9, and I think Producer has 5, right in that area, 86. Some of them are pretty thick and voluminous on the amount of items and information they're requesting. Hold another meeting with Cottonwood Charter Schools and other participants with the reference and electrical deficiency, and determining the steps taken to mediate the problem, and just explore what measures need to be taken to see if the problem still exists. We did receive a correspondence. The appropriate cable was utilized, and our county attorney issued a letter to Darren Murphy about getting equipment for Valley Community School to check existing wiring to see if problems still exist. That's in the works. So once that is done, the next steps will be to see where we go from there. Whether if it still exists or if it doesn't, then that's good news. Sent out more cannabis applications for county permits. Met the county assessor and treasurer and updated the mobile home permits I've finalized the document processes, put it into place and sent out 3 mobile home permits during that phase. Finished opening supervisor employee evaluations, I had a meeting with Gianni Moriarty, the road department reference negotiations on road work, leading to future businesses off of El Centro. He's still contemplating what he's gonna do in that area off of Uguando Road. Also attended the New Mexico County Annual Summer Conference in Farmington, several meetings, met with, like you recommended, met with some equipment providers, reaching out. I think Art is still reaching out to get me some equipment prices as well. Zoom meeting with KRK, reference latest detention center escape, which we acknowledged the employee. They requested video and we released it to them. Began scheduling summer internship mandated training. Those 2 will take place tomorrow to make sure we check all the boxes in that grant agreement. We did receive numerous complaints about vector control, and I'd like to suggest that the county look into a seasonal vector control person or personnel. There are 2 employees within facilities that have said that they would like to get certified and handle that. I would just need to price the equipment and materials with the commission's permission. So I'd like to start looking into that. I'm sure the commission had tons of calls because I know we did. And I had neighbors and everybody else coming to my house complaining about mosquitoes. I think maybe this is something we might want to take back on. It might be a little pricey in the beginning. You might have to purchase new equipment and a new truck, but something we might want to. I'll get the numbers to you maybe the next meeting. That sounds appropriate, and then we can make a decision on if we need to move forward because contract with the city and it just isn't working, at least this year for sure. It isn't working. So I'll get those numbers to you and then see how you're going to proceed. It's probably going to be with overtime and stuff, probably a ballpark, maybe 80 to 100,000 to begin, and then after that, maybe 20 grand a year. So with that, that's my report of most of the global issues.
Any comments, Commissioner?
I have a question. In regards to our next meetings, I'd like to have a black and white as well too.
I'm sorry?
If you could insert your report into the agenda next time.
Yeah, I usually do a written one, but I just did not have time, so it's a verbal, so that's why it's not there.
Okay, but for next time.
Yeah, if I can have a written report, I'll get one for sure.
Mike, I remember we had an employee that used to do that for us, and we had the equipment. I don't know if we still have it. You might ask Quaylen and see if it's somewhere.
Yeah, I've already touched base on that. We just have to make it. We have to look at it and have our mechanic look at it, Elvie, to see if it's all operational. But it's been sitting there since that employee left, which, as you know, was a while back.
Yes.
So,
The only comment I have, and maybe you've already thought about it, but maybe consider an RFP to bid it out to locally to somebody to do that for us, once a year or wherever we need it, like especially for the mosquitoes. How much it would cost us per year, where we wouldn't have to pay benefits, just contract to do it when we need it.
we can discuss that. The idea was utilizing existing employees, then we would just absorb overtime costs instead of other additional costs of a contractor. And so there wouldn't be any additional benefits costs, just compensation costs. and then the equipment. But I'll try to get the numbers so you can compare and contrast an RFP versus contractor versus using regular county personnel.
Thank you. Commissioner Secretary?
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Any other comments, guys? Okay, Commissioner's report. I'll start with Commissioner Aguilar. Nothing? Commissioner Secretary?
Not at this point, sir.
Joe?
No, not for me.
Nada? I got my list here. I'll go first then. I also attended that commission in Farmington. And in one of the meetings, I met a gentleman that is the grant writer for Valencia County. Got to talk to him for a while, and I wanted to ask the commission and Mike if you guys would want to bring him in so he could do a presentation. What I understand from him and the manager, Danny Monet, he's gotten them a lot of money, and he manages it, where his salary is paid by the grant. They started with one person, went to Danny, now they have 3 people working there to manage it. We've always discussed getting a guy like that or a person. If we can get grant money where it'll help us with the budget, I think it's worth it. So I don't know. What do you think, commissioners? Would you like
Yeah, I think it's
for him to request him to come in, and that way he can do a presentation? What do you guys think? The other meeting that I went to was the Roadrunner Health Services. His name is David Montoya. He's the CEO. They're having an issue with all detention centers, as we know, issuing the medical stuff for detainees. They're from New Mexico, and according to him, another person that maybe he could come down and give us a presentation. I don't know if it's worth it or not, but if he could save us money, because you see the bills that we pay for that kind of stuff, maybe hear his side since he's here. David Montoya, he's the CEO for that company. I brought his card. I'll give you all that stuff. Then.
Was it on medical or?
Yeah, medical.
Look at it.
Yeah. And the third one was Hermesela Rodriguez. She's a computer person. She mentioned that we're on Tider. Is that working good, Mike? Tider? Because she kind of mentioned that. I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just saying.
Well, it's not my platform. I can tell you want me to be honest with you, I hate Tiger. So I don't know how else to put it. It's not, it's complicated, it's cumbersome, it's arduous. The support is
Out of state.
rough. If we have an issue, it takes 5 days. You have to go through bump guard for them even to come in and it's tough. Well, we went through Tyler on the biometric system, and when did I put that into play? Last year?
Yeah.
So, I don't know how difficult it would be to switch courses on platforms because we're so intricately tied to it, and everybody departments utilize it. But I'm willing to see something. I don't know how the other department heads feel. I think it would be best if they gave something and have all the department heads look at it as well.
I'll give her, she's from Demick, she's locally. She said that the jobs they do, they can respond right away and take care of stuff like that. I told her to give you the card and can go from there. So if it's all right with you, commissioners, so you can take care. The next item is CASA meeting. We're having that tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's court-appointed advocate for kids in need. There's about 20 people coming from different organizations. And you guys are welcome to come as long as we let Mike know, because if there's 3 of us, it's a quorum.
Yeah, I can. So
but it'll be here at the county annex. The next item is that CLL meeting in reserve. That's for the wolf issue. That's on Friday. Here's an issue. Today we got an email. I don't know if you saw it. We gotta have a special meeting on Friday at 4:00. See, I'm on this committee. There's no way I can make it back. Reserve. Meeting starts at 10. It'll be over probably by 1, 2. There's no way I can make it 3 hours. Coming back.
Another 3 hours coming on.
Yeah, and then, go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, Chairman Martinez. I believe we're trying to get that set up as Zoom, so you wouldn't have to, you could join via Zoom. I just don't know what the connectivity is.
I don't think it,
I know this, yeah, so, I'm sorry, so just so you know, that's how we're trying to set it, because we understand that the commission and everybody else have a lot of stuff already on their calendar, so we're trying to make it Zoom. And unfortunately, you already got this to us, and so we have to do something. I can discuss that. Would you like me to discuss that right after you're done about
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why I brought it up now, Commissioner, so could you make it on Zoom next year? On Friday at 4?
Be on the road Friday. Be on the road, yeah.
Then it'd be up to the other 2 commissioners.
Is Thursday too within that time frame?
Yeah, it's 72-hour notice.
Well, Commissioner Duggins will be here in a while. But the other alternative, if one of you guys want to go to reserve in my place. The reason I want to go is because we're having we have our senator representative and our 2 state representatives going to be at that meeting. And it's a very important meeting, so. you guys-
You go to that meeting.
It's just a PRA stuff, right?
Yeah, that's it, pretty quick. I'll be here.
Okay.
'Cause I have a
And it's gotta be within June, right? Before June's over.
before June 30th.
Well, we'll wait till Commissioner Duggins is here because we have to have a quorum. So if you get Joe and.
I'll be here.
and John.
Friday at 4 or something in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, I don't know where I know it's gonna get done because there's no way out.
It should be pretty fast.
Can I call in as well, or?
Absolutely.
Most definitely, that would probably be my best.
Okay.
Okay.
You want us to give you a number, or do you want to just call on my phone? Okay.
If not, just call me.
Okay,
Chairman, did you want me to explain why we need the special meeting?
yes, go ahead, Mike, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, the reason we had a call for a special meeting is PERA sent out the new PERA contribution rates. And as you know, back in 2021, the commission, as part of compensation increases, decided to take over more of the employees' percentage and making the employer's contribution rate higher, making the employees' contribution rate lower. And before we implemented that, we met with PERA. They gave us the verbiage for our resolutions to implement. And so when we got this, we got on the phone and say, hey, we're covered already because we already cover more than what your matrix says. And so they said, well, no. Well, no, first they said, what? And I said, first they said they couldn't find our resolutions. And I said, no, we have an authorization letter. And then they looked further and said, okay, well, we found their 2 resolutions, 2022-46 and 2022-47, and the authorization letter. And so then they said, let us call you back, called us back and said, well, we don't like the verbiage in your resolution because it doesn't, even though it says it's irrevocable, meaning it goes on forever because we can't revoke it. They said, we would like it to have this language. And I argued saying, because I knew where it was headed, I said, well, you are the one who gave us the language and knew what we were doing. And so even with that said, it appears that we have to add the new language, Jeremy's going over.
here's the crux to consider is if you want to keep that in play at the same, so we had decided to take over 2.9925% of the employees' contribution of general employees, and then on the police side, we took over 4.3675. So, so the resolutions probably stay the same to keep that constant, because that was the whole idea. We always absorb that amount. And in order to keep it that way means that our employee contribution will go up, but it'll go up by 0.5%, but not 2.99 plus 0.5%, which would be, so you see where I'm headed? And then on the police, it would be still about, we would maintain that same gap of 4 point so and so. But that's up to you. And that's what the meaning would be. You want to keep that, we're still covering that, even though their part will increase by 0.5 percentage point? Or do you actually want to absorb that also? I would probably recommend not to say we're still absorbing the 2.99 and the 4.365. But that's what the meeting will be.
Okay. I'll answer the question. Okay. Thank you, Mike, for explaining that. Go ahead, Commissioner.
So when you say they, is that state?
Yeah, that's state PDRE, our retirement that our employees utilize.
Other questions? Okay, the next thing I had was the grand opening for the senior center in Magdalena will be July the 5th. I attended in June the 21st. They called it a soft opening. The mayor of Magdalena wanted to have that meeting to let the people know what they had done already. And also he took a survey, passed out a survey to the people that attended to see what they wanted to see from here on the senior center. I commended him. We should see the way they fixed the senior center on the inside. Not fixed, but they really did a lot. They painted, put curtains, they fixed some of the windows, done a lot of work. They bought new tables. It looks beautiful. I hope he can do everything he wants to do. I was very happy, very happy. So July the 5th, if you guys are around, you're invited. They said they're gonna. I don't know the time yet, but I'll let you guys know as soon as. He just said June the 5th. July the 5th.
That's 30 days, what's 30 days?
And then the other thing you already answered on the mosquito control, because I have been getting calls from them. And then Mike, I'd like to request a site visit with you and the road supervisor to go look at Hop Canyon. I've been getting quite a bit of calls. I know I've mentioned it before on the deep shoulders, pretty deep, and they're getting pretty dangerous. So I feel it's with the road crew that we have, we could do some of that work. You can give us some dates, Mike, where we could go up there and kind of look at some of the worst areas. And I'll bring this up again, where they did that repair on the fire department, the parking lot. Remember it washed out and did a big old hole there? You can see it when you go up there. It needs to be chip sealed to prevent it from washing away the milling. So I don't know, when you see it, we can recommend to Mark Mercer that we can chip seal it to preserve it.
Commissioner,
Yes.
I'm free on the 3rd. I see Art in the audience. Are you free on the 3rd? I can set it up right today.
The 13th.
Monday.
I'm free. What time, Mike?
I like early.
Yeah, we are. What time we are? Yeah. You call it English night?
Okay. Do you want to pick an area to meet? You want to meet at the Forest Service building or at the
Let's meet at the fire department.
fire
Up
department?
in Hunt County.
Did you get that? Art?
Thank you. On the other, been going around in my area, looking at some of, getting prepared for the projects for we submit again. There in San Antonio, the park, a lot of those trees are dried up, Mike. Whenever you can look at them, oh, I think we need to cut, 'cause they're all dried up and I don't want those falling on somebody. And I would like to recommend that we consider or even do a survey to the citizens that live there if they would like another RV park, add more RV connections there. We're gonna do in Escondido. I think, so that would generate some funds.
I like. Need to start a survey or call for a neighborhood meeting.
What is your recommendation and what do you guys, the commissioners, feel would be the best?
To do what? To add more?
To see what the San Antonio community would like to see happen. I personally think an RV park is probably the way to go, facilities wise and everything else, and what we see going on in San Antonio as far as people needing that. We just lost a tourism and a overnight stay place, Casablanca, stopped doing business. They've been doing it for a long time. But let me know what type you want, a survey and or meeting or.
What are the wishes of the commission?
This park is the one by the fire department?
Yes.
I'd probably prefer a one-to-one meeting, an open meeting.
I'll set it up.
Can you tell me, because the county, if the county provides our RV, we already have some RV parks where you're talking about maybe increasing them. But we have a private RV down by the.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get in competition with a private somebody, but do we know the vacancy or like is,
The capacity.
yeah, can we expand without hurting?
I'll find out, because actually, there's actually 2 or 3 down.
Is there?
One, yeah, and one's, anyway, there's 2 or 3, so I can find out from them. I don't have any problem with going out and meeting with them and then letting them know that there will be maybe we could set it up at the venue, either at the fire station or some other venue where we can have refreshments and have a community meeting.
And at least, I think I mailed or text the chairman, our rates out at Escondido, are they the same in San Antonio?
We don't have anything in San Antonio.
You don't have any RV park? Any RV? Oh, well, the ones in Escondido, they seem very cheap to me, but at least if we go to something in San Antonio, maybe not to undercut the private people or, just keep that in mind.
I don't know if you remember, Mike, I think you got invited. They had a committee. They were wanting to know what they could be done. I went to 2 meetings and then they stopped having them. Part of it was they wanted to have an RV theme. They wanted more trees so people could stop there. A lot of people stopped there. That baseball field, they say nobody uses it. It's an old baseball field. They say that land is just there. So, yeah.
Great.
So I think if you set that up, we'll get some. And you're already working on the equipment with the road department. And the crew size, you were recently hired. Are they full now? Full positions?
I just had a meeting with the road department director this afternoon. Asked him to if we're doing on another supervisor position. And I believe we're full, or we one down. I think we might be one down because of the recent promotion.
Okay, this item I had requested a while back, where the road maintenance starts for the county on Kelly Road, where the dorms are. We recently chip sealed that area and box sealed it. And we started right there where our responsibility starts. I remember I requested 2 signs on each side, so people know in that area where our responsibility is. As I get a bunch of calls, well, what about going there all the way down to 60? That's not ours, that's the village. That way people would know that that would be their responsibility. I thought we can help them if the village requests it through our MOU. But they haven't, and those things are getting worse and worse. That way everybody knows where we start, our responsibility.
Yeah, I already ordered them.
There's on City Road also, that there's a sharp curve there. And I just bring it up, Mike, so when we go up there, maybe we can see it. I just dread somebody's gonna hit that telephone pole. We need to find out who owns, I kind of know who owns that land. Maybe they'll donate that piece, not to make it a sharp curve so people have a chance to go. If they're coming up, they can see the other vehicles, especially at night. And then we have that meeting with the Forest Service, July 12th, right, 1 p.m. That's for the road maintenance contract. I think you said, or the guy from the forest said one, at 1 o'clock. Here at the annex. And then I just noted the special meeting. We're having a special meeting on June the 30th, Friday, for the PURA, what Mike was discussing.
Okay.
You can join by Zoom. We'll hold the Zoom here. I'm hoping. We'll hold the Zoom here.
That's it. That's what I have. Thank you. Yeah, your turn.
My turn.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to touch a little bit about the river. It's been running very high. It's coming down now a little bit. It's still very high, to caution the people. It's just not a good thing to raft or swim or play in the river. There's these high events, there's trees and all kinds of things. I know of a guy that ran into a barbed wire fence and nearly cut him in 2 here. It's been years ago, but you just don't know what's in that river below the water, and people get hooked and snagged on stuff, and it's pretty tough. And also, Art, I want to thank you and your crew for the San Antonio, I don't know, should we stay on there? For the San Antonio, I'm sorry, the San Acacia resurface. I went down that road today. And the reason I went down that road is because the EBID, which is the Elephant Butte District, Irrigation District, and the MRGCD here are for the first time in 100 years working together, trying to, get the federal people to move a little bit on infrastructure and cleaning out our low flow channels so that we can deliver water. We got a lot of water, but I think are losing about half of it before it gets to Elephant Butte. And of course they need it, and by not getting down there, we fall into debt. The state does. And I wanted to see maybe on the Manager Hawks on the monsoon season's approaching, and maybe we could head off some of our problems if we have a big enough crew, or if they can get to cleaning culverts and make sure that we're ready to handle the water. Those monsoon floods can really cause a lot of damage. And I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Dugan. Okay, the next item is public comment. During this period of our meeting, we welcome your suggestions and want to hear your concerns. This is not a question and answer period. Speakers will be limited to 5 minutes. The county commission is not able to take action on matters discussed during public comment. Speakers are requested to state their name for the record. Any public comment?
No, we don't have it.
Nobody? Okay. Presentation number 10, A, consideration of Western New Mexico Communications Broadband Proposal and award of $250,000 ARPA grant. Corey Webb.
Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners, I'm Corey Webb, this is Daniel Messner, PM of Western New Mexico Communications. This is Wayne Baxter, Director of Operations, hired in the Engineering Department. We've got a presentation to kind of talk about a few things that we're trying to do in the county as a whole, as well as we have going on normally through our daily work. So we've got a little deal that Daniel's going to talk through.
Thank you.
Thanks, Corey. So just first, a quick introduction. Like Corey said, my name is Daniel Mesler. I'm the General Manager of Western New Mexico Communications. We are a local New Mexico company. We serve Southwest New Mexico, the counties of Grant, Hidalgo, Catron, large portion of Socorro County, as well as Boone counties. We have approximately 60 employees spread across our service territory, which is about 15,000 square miles. Right now, we're working through some fairly large fiber projects through USDA, as well as another federal program to connect, I believe, two of the last 4 schools in the state with fiber. That would be Midway and San Antonio elementary schools. So we're in the process of going through the final stages of permitting that build. So we do have a proposal that should be in front of you guys. If you don't have it, I have extra copies here. So the first part of the proposal that we have in front of you guys would be a 150-foot tower to provide wireless internet to the residents of the county. That would be placed next to a central office building that we just placed on a piece of property that we have down by the rodeo grounds. That's the hospital. Yep. And then also included in that would be the connectivity of actually bringing the fiber that we're putting in for the school project, putting additional fiber in with that construction so that we have ability for future deployments with that and then tie that back into our network. There were our central office buildings, as well as the plant tower.
If I may, did you guys go one in Magdalena, right there where your office is?
Yes, yeah, we did.
That would be the same.
It's going to be pretty similar to that, yeah. That one there is a 120-foot tower.
Yeah.
It's working on some different frequencies and things like that. So it would be very similar to that, though. Very, very similar. Yeah.
I know someone else is wanting to put a tower in Magdalena in private property, but I don't know if that went through.
That was not us.
It didn't go through.
So right now that tower provides speeds up to 200 over 20, and that's working on one band of frequency. We are going to upgrade that tower to work off dual band, so I can get more speed to subscribers there as well.
We're currently testing 5G deployments right now, so we're working through that actually closer to our main office, Silver City and down in Deming. So we're working through that process right now, but it's capable of significantly higher speeds, especially on the upload side. Probably download
300 down, 100 up. So we expect on a 5G. The up speed is where you really can. The band can be dual band. So the tower that we're talking about here, that's included on that is that would service a lot of the area outside of the city limits, because we know TDS has a project going on here that, don't want to step back.
Yep. We also feel that sometimes the county gets overlooked, some residents out in the county. We want to be sure that we can work off of fiber that we're building up in Midway and down to San Antonio, and be able to pick up some places that have been overlooked in the past, as well as to being able to deploy a 5G tower immediately within the next 6 months to be able to get some people some connectivity and then start working out from there. We do have future plans for some towers up in the Limitar area and down in the San Antonio area that just will come to fruition through funding and available CapEx that we may have or any future funding we can get through grants or infrastructure.
Schools should be connected fiber.
This year.
This year, probably October time.
Good, that's a big help.
It's been a long process.
Almost 2 years worth of permitting.
I have a question on, what about the Alamo Reservation? Do you have anything out there or propose anything?
We have fiber to the schools there currently, so they're capable of 10 gig if they want that, and we work through the federal program as far as that goes.
Any questions, Commissioner?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, it's all Greek to me, but so 5G, what do we have now? Is it 4 or, I just know like on my cell phone it says LTE, 5G is not cool. So compare the two.
5G is a standard by which it encompasses combining dual radio frequencies into one thing. And the cell phones, I don't see 5G, 4G. It's just a standard. So it's just like Comcast when they say DOCSIS 3, DOCSIS 4, DOCSIS 5.
But is 5G, it works faster?
Yeah,
It is faster.
It's basically the next
How much
generation.
faster?
Like I said, the upspeed, when you combine frequencies, dual bands, you go from 20 meg all the way to 100 capability. So you gain about 80 megabits of data upstream. And to normal users like us, I don't stream, but if anybody's sending video out, or you're doing video arraignment, or you're doing any kind of Zoom calls even, that helps.
And for a non-technical person like me, I've done a couple of speed tests when we were in town. So like on your Verizon, it says LTE, you're probably getting somewhere between 5 and 20 megs download speed. On the 5G, there's a lot more spectrum available to us, and we'll be able to combine it. You're looking at multiples of that. So like I said,
4 or 5 times.
Yeah, the testing that we've been doing right now. 5.8.
And the antenna you're putting out here somewhere by the hospital, how far does it go and does?
10 miles, line of sight, near line of sight. Now, the further you go, you might run into some issues with any kind of obstructions, or when I say near line of sight, when you have trees in the way, that might. And this is not cell phone, this is gonna be 5G data only.
Fixed for your
residential internet.
So if a person wanted to hook up, you would have a device on your house that would beam to that thing there?
It'd be a small, almost like DirecTV type dish. The ones that we use are square, or size of a high plate basically.
And then you mentioned the fiber is going to Midway School, or is going to be there soon.
Yep.
Does that act as, I don't know how to say it, like a repeater? Will you have, will that be a booster station there or something?
It'll give us the opportunity to deploy maybe additional towers, even smaller towers at either end of that or along that path somewhere, and basically do the same thing like you said.
And the San Antonio is getting the same?
Yeah.
So when you're looking at the fiber, we're putting in a 144 count fiber. 12 of those fibers for the school under their reservation to be able to manage their network as they need to. As we build this out, the rest of the fiber will come back to be able to disseminate to the consumers that are in the areas, whether it be through a wireless application or whether it be by pockets that we can actually build fiber to the home applications. In a perfect world, we love to get fiber to every single house, every single business. I think we all know that it's a pretty tall task, especially when we're looking at the school build now, and it's 2 years worth of permitting to get to those 2 locations. This gives us, with the wireless, gives us the ability to get some internet connectivity out to folks that hopefully in the future come in under need that and do additional fiber. So that's when he talks about the count of fiber that gives us that additional ability to distribute out to additional locations.
And with what we've talked about, what's already in the little letter that we submitted, we've already put the steel building in. We're working on building the infrastructure out to tie the networks between San Antonio and Limitar. As of right now, we're over $1 million in on the projects to be able to get this service out to the customers here in Socorro County. We want to be able to show you guys that we're in it for the long haul. We're not here fly by night. We've been in business since 1974, where we're at now. We've got the I-Light portion of it, we've got the C-Light portion. This falls into something we see a necessity of here for the rural aspects of what we're doing. We know, like Wayne said, and Daniel, the TDS is already coming into town, but that does not help the rural population. There's lots of kids, there's lots of elderly that live out in the rural areas. We want to make sure that they have the ability to get the telehealth thing, to be able to get into the things that they need to get into. If we go back into a COVID scenario again, the kids have to stay home. We want to be able to ensure that they have connectivity. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Thank you.
Mike?
First of all, thank you all for being here tonight. We've been looking for people exactly like you that want to come into our rural frontier area and help us supply connectivity to our constituents and our community members, our elderly, our children, and all those communities that are in desperate need for some type of equality in connectivity. I do also want to congratulate you on how successful you've been, the amount and the dollar amount of grants you've gotten. That shows how committed you are to this project and several projects throughout not only Socorro County, but the connectivity with the adjoining counties, which is very advantageous for Socorro County. The one thing I would like to say is that the Socorro County, the commission has set aside $250,000 for a grant for a provider that will come in and enhance or augment or actually supply new capabilities to our rural areas. The 150-foot tower is $250,000. Will that be enough just on that, or is there other things that are going to be utilized?
So that's a starting point, the 250,000.
Yeah.
What a tower actually costs us by the time we do the generator, the tower, all the propagation, everything we do, the equipment. We've got the FAA determination. We've got that secured in hand. We didn't want to come to you guys ill prepared. So we've got a determination that says that we're not in the way of the airport flight lines, anything like that. So we're here to build. $250,000 gets the tower in the air. It does not get any of the other secondary equipment to go along with it. So the CPE, the customer prem equipment, stuff like that comes out of our own budget. So the radio equipment that goes on the customer side would come out of our budget. We're funding this along with you guys. We are asking for help. We may come back to you guys if there's more ARPA funds, more things that we can work in conjunction with, be able to service more parts of the communities. We would be glad to build a partnership with Socorro and Socorro County.
One last question, Chair Commission. Corey, on the construction of the tower and then connecting everything, so is that going to enhance 100 up, 20? I think it's 25 down. That's set by the feds.
So yes, it will. So it does not fulfill the state's request because they want to be a wireline provider, but it does suffice for the 100 over 20.
Any
Questions there?
Well, I see your name I've gone to meetings, you're up there. So you're committing a lot of stuff, to be able to do this. I personally want to thank you because you're thinking of the people, the outskirts, the rural area, that it'll help.
We live there.
Yeah.
That's where we live. I mean,
Yeah.
our average customers per mile, I mean, we actually average between 3 and 5 miles per customer, whereas most other providers, they're looking at, 4, 5, 10, 15, customers per mile. We're the other end of that spectrum, so we're looking at the number of miles per customer. So that's really where we do most of our work.
Commissioner Rea?
Yes, ma'am.
So what does it cost the customers monthly if they were to sign up with TDS? I've seen
I
actual,
don't know. We don't know what TDS pricing is for Western.
but for Western,
I will say that
to go with.
I will say that we participate in the ACP program as well, which is the low income program that basically gives you an additional $30 discount off your monthly bill for broadband. Most of our plans wireless, we usually start in that ballpark of around $40 or so that you're really out of pocket, pretty limited amount, maybe $10 or so. Plus it's kind of active.
Now, the higher speed package will be $10.
Yeah, usually depending on how many speed packages we do. Like we said, we're just getting into the 5G stuff testing it. So we haven't put together all the speed packages that will actually take forward to that. Like when it's at, we're looking at least 300 megs down and 100 megs up on those for some higher speed tiers, but it's definitely the higher ones a little more. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay, well, Mike, what's your recommendation?
I recommend that we pass on granting the grant to Western New Mexico.
250?
We'll come back with the
Yeah, okay, we'll come back with the formal grant.
Okay.
I'm ready for you. The resolution.
Commissioners, you heard the recommendation of our manager. Need a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Duggins, second by Commissioner Lopez. Gonzalez, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe.
That's
I
my
was thinking
brother.
about somebody else. Okay, for 250,000. Any further discussions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, it is approved, sir. 250,000.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you for
Chairman,
coming
County
out.
Commission, we appreciate it, and we look forward to serving you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Put a light on that tower, it's gotta be blue.
You don't have a light on.
Joe, called you by your beach name.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's,
Give me a few minutes. Sure.
First time on the horse.
See you update.
Yeah, I'm off too.
Did you break your leg?
I hope not.
Branding, huh?
What's that?
Branding?
Trying to.
You got a check? You got a check at least?
The next item is 11B, consideration of full circle contract to provide treatment and wellness programming services for its Cole County Community Alternative Program.
Yes. Yes, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. So the reason for this is fentanyl is just continuing to take over. And also our grantors are wanting us to partner with Medicaid providers as well, so we can be additionally sustainable moving forward. That's part of what they consider our stakeholders. So Full Circle has been here for 4 years. And in fact, this afternoon, I went to the health collaborative up at the high school. And of course, we're all aware of the young man that passed away. So the family is continuing to be in our prayers. That being said, it just shows how important it is that we continue to expand services and treatment and support for all of our individuals here in Socorro County. So that's the reason for partnering with Full Circle Recovery.
Mike, recommendation?
I recommend that you pass.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Secretarial,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for the youth. Okay, the next one is item C, consideration of DWI SCCA CAP contract with Vanessa Garcia to provide counseling and case management services.
So I think you know what Vanessa, in conjunction with the administration at the detention center, I think you know how valuable the collaboration and navigation is with Ms. Garcia, with assisting with the medical costs. That's one of her, you know, primary concerns and areas of concern with the detention center, along with the RISE programming that she offers there and the counseling services that she's been doing so diligently and loyally with the Socorro County Detention Center and with our programming. So I would hope that you would consider renewing her contract. Thank you.
Mike,
This is a very valuable service that contributes tremendously to the bottom dollar as far as health services and collaboration and recidivism reduction that we experience at the detention center. And again, it's paid for a RISE program. It does not come out of the general fund. So I would say yes.
Go ahead.
okay, you heard the recommendation from both Tina and our manager. Motion was made by Commissioner Secretarial, second by Commissioner Duggins. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it is approved. Thank you.
Thank you again for all your continued support.
Next one is consideration of contract with Manuel Lopez for voting machine technician service, technical service, technician service.
Chair Martinez, Commissioners. Manny Lopez has been with us for over 6 years as our voting machine technician. He is very diligent in keeping up our warehouse where we hold our Dominion voting machine. We've gotten high compliments with how he keeps up our area for the machines. He's always available during elections. He does transport all of our voting machines to our precinct. He has currently purchased his own trailer to do so. So he has the trailer to deliver machines. He is on call during elections for any of our poll officials that are in need of his assistance. So I would recommend highly to approve this contract, and that is currently in my budget for the clerk's office.
So
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez to approve. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Duggins. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? It is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item F, consideration of contract for fiscal year 23 audit with SJT Group LLC.
Chairman, Commissioner, in your packet is a recommendation to contract with SJT Group LLC to start performing our auditing work. This is a change at the end of the usual contractual term. We're selecting a different group for various reasons. It's a recommendation also of the finance director that we proceed with this. And I've gone over it and I also recommend.
Okay, you hear the recommendation of the manager. Need a motion?
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Duggins,
Second.
second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, it is approved. Item G, consideration of cooperative service agreement with USDA APHIS-US. Is that you?
Commissioners, my name is Matt Ellis. I am the USDA Wildlife Specialist for Socorro County. I'm here to just go through our work and financial plan between Socorro County and the USDA Wildlife Services. It's time to update our agreement. This new agreement is start July 1st and run through June 30th, 2024. Do you want me to read through this whole deal, or I'll just give you a little breakdown of what it is? Well, you all know what I do or what I'm doing in the county. I deal with predator control and help ranchers and farmers and people that need wildlife damage. This contract basically is our agreement with the county, between USDA and the county. And in this package, it's got what we're asking for and what the federal contributions are going to be. It's all broken down in this deal on what we're asking for. I would be asking for it is $37,250, and then the feds would kick in the $49,880 for a total of $87,131 for this deal. But do y'all have any questions on this? On what we do or what services we provide?
The Fed was how much again? 49?
The Fed's gonna kick in the $49,881.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
are you the go-to man for wolf kill or?
We have, so now we have, I'm not the only guy in Socorro County doing all the work. I'm the wildlife specialist for Socorro County, but we also have a team of non-lethal guys that will come and look when a depredation occurs. These guys will come out and conduct the investigation, and then they'll put together a report, and then they submit it to the rancher, and then the rancher submits that packet for compensation. But we have a team of guys that's their sole deal is looking at these wildlife depredations, and they're covering some of Catherine County, Sierra County, and parts of Socorro County as well in the wolf area.
So it's safe to say that some of this money
helps with that. Yeah. And then we also have our wildlife biologist is also located here in Socorro, and it's Tim Mitchison is also working for us now. So he's on board with USDA and doing testing for avian influenza, African swine fever, some of that stuff. He's located here in Socorro. So it's not only me, but you have several other guys around. And then some of the crane work is also some of this stuff as well. And we had a guy quit so that on the crane project, so it kind of falls back on some of the stuff I've been doing. But when upon request, I've been when farmers need the pyros and all that, we're working with them to help distribute those. We don't have a full-time guy hazing like they used to do in the past, but we're trying our best to help the farmers with what we can.
They used to have two.
Yeah, they used to have a big one, but it's changed a little bit now.
So are you connected with the Bosque del Apache, the State Refuge Siviera, anything like that to, I mean, part of the load is coming from the inability to produce enough feed.
We understand that, so those areas need to reduce the feed to attract the birds. And, we don't really, we're working with them, but we don't control what they do,
Right.
We'll work with them as much as we can to try to
get a report from the chief, whoever at the Bosque del Apache, see how that's working out. maybe we could invite the manager. One other thing, it's just, surface critters. I mean, you're like, if the river, the minnows, any kind of biology, and it rang a bell with the silvery minnow and such as that in the river, do they have anything to do with that?
We're only dealing with, well, we deal with things that are causing damage, you know, something that's causing a damage to.
Well, he causing a lot of damage, but.
Yeah. It's a different way. But yeah, we're dealing with things that are causing damage, you know, pocket gophers, prairie dogs, coyotes, lions, bears, something causing damage. But, any other questions?
Questions, Commissioner? I just have a favor to ask you, Matt.
Yes, sir.
You said that there were some individuals that are doing that, determine if it's a wolf kill.
And they're working through our agency, yes.
Would you send me an email telling me who they are or how we could, because see, I'm going to a meeting Friday and reserve for that, and I can share that information.
They're gonna know those guys very well in Catron County.
Okay, so they'll know.
They'll know. And one of the guys in Catron County, his name is Scott McDonald. And then he's the primary lead investigator. He's working along with the Catron County's Jess Carey, and Jess Carey's retiring, and I think they're bringing in the Sean Mangus now to help through the county. But our guys are working side by side with them on some of these investigations. And when they're not available to conduct investigations in Socorro County, I'm the one doing stuff in Socorro.
Okay.
So we recently had a couple of investigations we just did this month.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Any other questions?
For me. So, Mike, what's your recommendation?
We've utilized this organization and that for quite some time. It's very advantageous for the county to continue the relationship.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Evans to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is approved, Matt. Thank you for
Thank you all.
the long wait. Item 8, consideration of TDS Metrocom franchise agreement. Thank you, Matt.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, before you is a franchise agreement which was previously considered, but we have since revised it as the terms were not mutually acceptable to either side. Basically, what this franchise agreement does is, it's my understanding that TDS has been selected by the city of Socorro to provide broadband through a cable network. It's important to note that this is specifically a cable franchise agreement. So it's different than, for instance, Western New Mexico internet or other types of internet, or even possibly it would even be considered different than just straight fiber optics. But basically, as I said, they are working with the city of Socorro to redo their internet cable, which is certainly needed in the city. They came to the county and said, well, if we're doing it in Socorro, how about we expand into the county? And our negotiations were certainly they're not necessarily familiar with the county. They're used to dealing with a city, which like the city of Socorro, which is 4 square miles in comparison to the county, which is 6,200 square miles. So originally they wanted basically an exclusive franchise agreement where they're allowed to put franchises throughout the county. And I said, so Mike and I met with them and said, so are you guys going to be putting cable in Clonch or Winston or Alamo or anywhere else? No, they really just want to work, since they're doing it in the city, they want to work on the outskirts of the city that belongs to the county. So just beyond the city, just slightly beyond the city limits. So what we did, we revised this franchise agreement to make it non-exclusive. So if another cable company wanted to come in and, for instance, cable in Begita where there's no way they would be operating, they would then have that right to come in and do it. we would have the same terms and conditions as we have with TDS. And if they use TDS as lines, which I don't anticipate ever happening, but if they did, they would have to compensate TDS if they were to use their infrastructure. But I don't foresee that as an issue. I don't foresee tons of cable companies running in here trying to put cable into, say, Clunch or Bingham. It'd be nice if they did. But that said, I think we have a product here that works, which will allow other cable companies to come in, but also allow TDS to provide service to our constituents within the limited area around the city of Socorro. So I recommend approval.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Gonzalez. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Duggins. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? TDS Metrocom franchise agreement is approved. Thank you. Item I, consideration of resolution, bless you, 2023-53 Open Meetings Act revised.
And Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, the chair asked that we consider this Open Meetings Act resolution revised to see if the board would like to set different times other than 5 o'clock. If those times aren't working for this commission, I'll turn that over to the chair.
Well, gentlemen, what do you guys think? Want to keep it at 5, both meetings, or in the morning, 10? Sometimes we've had trouble getting a quorum, so bring it up.
I personally like it the way it is. Either time would
Be either
I do too.
easier on the staff a little bit during the day, wouldn't it? I don't know, with me, I'm busy this time of year at 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's same with me.
We went to 5 o'clock for more public participation, and it hasn't happened. And I think I've said it before, it's hard for me to believe that if somebody is passionate about an item that's on the agenda, that they couldn't take off work for a little bit to address the commission. I mean, everybody takes off work now for a runny nose, But
What are the wishes of the commission?
well, what are your wishes? And Joe said that he'd rather stay the way we are. I think Secretary said the same. Are we at a deadlock or? I can do either way, like for me, for the staff, Nance, I mean, you've got a long ways to drive, you and Secretary, I suppose.
I'll do whatever the commission would like. I think the staff prefers the morning, but the staff prefers the morning, that's for sure. But certainly this is the board's meeting.
Wait, what?
That's up to you all to set the time.
Chair Martinez, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
I know it's up to the commission to set the times on it. As the recording clerk, when I'm not available or Michelle's not available, our staff, which is Esmeralda, that would come and record. It would always require her to get overtime, so it's always easier in the mornings for us.
You're gonna go back to the way we were, or all of it?
Well, at the last meeting, we had quite a few people here because we honored one of our detention personnel. And we surveyed the amount of people that were here. And the majority said that the mornings would be better because most of them would be an overtime to come. I noticed we have 2 county employees that are still here. Art doesn't get overtime, but the other gentleman does. So, but he's off of work, I guess, so he might get the overtime.
Yeah.
But to me, I think 10 o'clock would be fair enough. Take care of business, and that's my recommendation. Or if you want to table it till.
Both meetings, or are you saying back?
I'm sorry, Chairman, you're saying 10 one meeting and 5 the other meeting?
Well, to make it, the reason we changed 2 was it was confusing. When do we meet? 10 or 5? I think if we change it, it should be either both at 5 or both at 10. Everybody knows it's at.
Let's do 10.
I know, John's, I know it really affects John as well too, because I think he gets off about 3 o'clock-ish. So I think we should table that and we can walk in with.
Okay, your recommendation would be to table to next meeting. Do we need a second?
Next meeting being the special meeting or the regular meeting?
Regular, okay, next special.
Sorry, yes.
You second?
I'll second that, I guess.
I have a motion to table and second by Commissioner Gonzalez. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is tabled to the next commission meeting. Okay, item J, acknowledge personnel changes. We'd like to deal with that. Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, do we have resolution, 52?
I see.
Do we skip that?
That's after.
Oh, after, okay.
Okay,
Personnel changes are Marcos Chavez, Sheriff Department termination. Michael Peralt, Sheriff Department new hire.
go ahead.
Chairman and Commissioners, just for a note, that's Tyler only lets us enter that terminology. He is not terminated. He's separation employment because he's going to Texas Department of DPS. He was accepted, he tested, and they're hiring him. So Tyler says termination on the spreadsheet, but it's really
Resignation.
he resigned.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't have that.
Marcos Chavez resignation, going to Texas.
Okay,
Get Tyler.
thank you. The next item is A, we moved it down, consideration of resolution 2023-52, supporting State Representative Jones' request for governor to deploy the New Mexico National Guard to the southern border. Commissioner Douglas, you wanna?
I do, Attorney Nance, could you tell us what's been going on with the Jones?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. We have Jennifer Jones, who is a representative, the House of Representatives from the counties of Doñana, Hidalgo, and Luna. And she has made a formal request to the governor to deploy the Mexico National Guard to stem the flow of illegal activity, specifically drugs, and to assist the federal government in those endeavors. Considering that there's we certainly have a large fentanyl crisis, and certainly in this community. I know that this dovetails with Commissioner Duggan's previous letters and requests to the governor, which of course have been unanswered, although we followed up. This resolution is basically requesting the board, or if adopted, the board would be requesting the governor to to do the same and supporting the request of Representative Jones. So this was requested by Commissioner Duggins to be on the agenda, and it is before you now. Currently, I know that at least one other county has adopted a similar resolution, which is Hidalgo. And I do believe that other counties have considered it, for instance, Sierra. I don't know where they stand, but again, this does dovetail with Commissioner Duggins' previous request. It's up to the board if it would like to make this request. Of course, it is a request for action. The board has no jurisdiction over this matter, so it's simply a request.
So commissioners, I had asked, a lady that I grew up next to down in Socorro, Upper Chaparral Drive, that lost a son, to come and testify to us, I guess, to the pain and the loss of a son, to the drugs and things like that. We know now that we lost somebody last night that's very close to home here. And it just seems to me like it backs up what we already voted for. And why wouldn't we do it? And if I remember, maybe not quite the wording, Attorney Nance, but when we made a proclamation, like say for the dairy industry, we say that the commission has the duty and the authority to protect the safety and well-being of the citizens of the county. Is that not right?
That's correct, and it says that in this resolution as well.
And I just, look, nothing's 100%. But we know that the vast majority is coming across the border. I personally know somebody that purchased a small child. I'll never say who because for fear of I don't want any problems with the child, but less than $100 bill, tell you that. And it just goes with what's going on. And we are a border state, and it's affecting our community. And I'm all behind the counseling that you give, the medication, whatever it may be, to help people get off this. But wouldn't it be nice if we could stop it before it became? And I don't know that we can stop it, but we certainly can try. And like I said, I lost my phone Sunday, so I haven't been able to, all my contacts. So I wasn't able to stay in contact with the girl that was gonna come and testify. But what I think we need to do is pass this anyway. It backs up the letter that we all voted for in the first place. And we could save I guess you could call the torment, the anguish of somebody coming and testifying, and I'm sure that's a hard thing to do. So, okay, with that, I'll make the motion that we.
Motion by Commissioner Duggins to, for this resolution. Need a second? I'll second it. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Commissioner, everybody? Okay, so any opposed? Hearing none, it is approved.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay, financial action item. In the past, we approved the vendors checks and payroll checks. Who would like to take care of it? We have a hard copy for.
Make a motion to approve the vendor check and the payroll checks, the amounts presented. Payroll is $203.91.42. And accounts payable, $1,679,884.37.
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez. Need a second? Second by Commissioner Secretary. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? They are approved. Item 13, executive session. Motion and roll call vote to go into executive session and that President Mexico State Statutes Section 10-15-1, only the following matters will be discussed in closed session. A, pending or threatened litigation. I, State of New Mexico General Services Department State Assessment Insurance Benefit. B, real property, Magdalena Senior Center real property. Need a motion to go into executive session?
So
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez, second by Commissioner Secretary. Roll call vote?
Vice Chair Secretary,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Duggins,
Yeah.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
yes.
and Chair Martinez.
Yes, ma'am. We are now in executive session.
All right.
Too many days with a shovel.
You're not supposed to.
Oh, I know. Got in the middle of it.
My grandmother.
So
I need a motion and vote to return to regular session. I get motion by Carol, second by Gonzalez. All in favor, signify by saying, oh, roll call.
Vice Chair Secretary,
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Debbie,
Yeah.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chair Martillo.
Yes, ma'am. I forgot to mention that no matters discussed in closed session were limited to those specified in the motion for closure, and that no final action was taken as per New Mexico statute section 10-15-1. The items continue. A, approval of quit claim deed and agreement for revision of Magdalena Senior Center.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, as you know, we no longer operate the senior center in Magdalena. It was given to us by the village of Magdalena in 2002. Since we are no longer using it, I suggest that the board is willing to agree to the reversionary clause in the deed to allow the property to revert back to the village of Magdalena and to approve the quitclaim deed just to make sure that everything is, the title is clear in clerk's office, so she won't be mad at us.
I'll make a motion to agree with that.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Dugan, second by Commissioner Gonzalez. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. It is approved. Item B, direction of staff regarding State of New Mexico General Services Department State Assessed Insurance Benefits.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, as we discussed in executive session, the state has assessed this county as well as every other county, all the municipalities, all the school boards, and everyone else in the state a large amount for retroactive insurance premiums that should have been assessed. We are negotiating with the state to try and work out an amenable solution. However, the Association of Counties suggests that we may need to file a lawsuit in order to at least to stall, to basically to stall and make sure this is done right with the state. What I would request of this board is to authorize the litigation if it becomes necessary as determined by the Association of Counties so that we can join the other 33 counties in coming to a solution, and we may need to use the injunctive powers of the court to get there.
You've heard the recommendation from attorney commissioners. Need a motion to what he is wanting us to do.
So
Motion by Commissioner Gonzalez,
Second.
second by Commissioner Dugas. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And again, Mr. Chairman, this does not necessarily mean we are going to file anything. This is just if determined to be necessary by the association, we have the authority.
It is approved with the recommendation of the attorney. Our next meeting is July 11th, 2023 at 5 p.m. I just want to make sure that we will have a quorum for Friday's meeting because I'll be on the road coming back from reserve. So, need 3 at 4 o'clock.
I'll be here. That's 6th, no? 7th? The 30th, June 30th.
June 30th at 4 o'clock p.m.
3 days.
Okay, 3 days. So it should be quick.
I just brought my people.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Chair Martinez.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hopkins, so we need to be there to record. Because I heard you saying that it's gonna be Zoom.
well, we're gonna have Zoom for the opportunity for those who won't be here to join in. Because some commissioners have said that they'll be either on travel or be away, but will still be able to join in, but we will have at least 2 here physically and myself, and I believe the attorney, are you gonna Zoom in or?
I don't know.
The attorney might
I'll
Zoom in,
walk in.
but I would appreciate if you could be here. Or.
As a member, I will be here.
It's only to deal with the county's parent contribution, so it should be fast.
Okay,
And it'll
yes, there will
be-
be somebody to record from our office.
I'm hoping to be here also. So,
Thank you.
Mike, what is the possibility of zooming in for our commission meetings, every commission meeting?
well,
In case one of the commissioners can't make it, or they could zoom in.
there's some, I think there's been some legality questions about that. because it was something that was implemented during COVID. And the fact about the Open Meetings Act and also policies and procedures about actual physical presence. So I think if you're wanting, and I to look into that,
No, I just-
as often doing it always, I think it's a slippery slope.
Certainly, Mr. Chairman, the answer to that is the Open Meetings Act, and certainly the Attorney General has stated that it should be used very sparingly, in situations where it can't be used. It could be considered an Open Meetings Act violation if we just had, frequent Zoom meetings, because we should be here according to the Attorney General. Unless, of course, there's a reason that we can't. This is a perfect example of a meeting that we have to deal with right away and everyone's already traveling. That's a great example of why we should call it. But for general, we should, the law would like us to be here.
I agree. And gentlemen, commissioners, thank you for, it was a good meeting. I appreciate all you do for us. Thank you. We're adjourned, Dad.
They go down.